Hi, I wanted to make a quick video showing a real easy way to swap out the front torque tube gears on the 450 Pro. I've seen plenty of threads, people complaining how easy the front torque tube gears strip out, and so I just wanted to make a video to show how easy they are to replace. And this video might also be useful to someone looking into getting a 450 Pro. Might be unsure if he wants the Pro or the Sport, if they want to mess with a torque tube on a 450 or not. This will give them an idea of what they might have to do. Okay, the first step would be removing the boom, and I've got my tail servo mounted on the boom, and I've got my boom pinned to my tail case. So first off, remove the boom struts. I've got my tail servo plugged in to a voltage drop down, so just have to unplug it right here. Then just loosen the common bolts here. And since my boom is pinned, I have to take it off, and the boom should pull straight out. And at this step, if I'm using the silver torque tube, so my torque tube will most likely not break, and if I hit the tail it might strip the gears. But if you're using a black torque tube, the one that fails before the gears, and this might be all you have to do. You'd have to pull the torque tube out, and it usually breaks near the edges, so you can pull out the major portion, and the little end part you probably, I have never changed one, but you can probably just tap it out to get it to fall out of whichever side, you know, if you don't have to change the boom or anything, and all you got to do is change the torque tube and put on the new bearing and stick it in there, and you'd be done with that. But that's not what I'm going to focus on. So start out just taking off my anti-rotation bracket and my gyro, get it out of the way, take those two loose, pull it backwards. I just kind of leave it hanging off to the side. Remove these 4 screws. From each side, 4 from the other side. And I've done this at the field a while back. I was doing rainbows a little too low, and the tail caught the ground and stripped out my front torque tube gears. It was still flyable, but it was making a lot of noise. Okay, now I got all the screws out. I ran my gyro wire up through in between this post and this little gap, so I just pulled it off to the side. I have to just kind of spread the 2 frames a little bit and pull it up. It comes right out. Set that off to the side. Now that we've got the boom block out, we can split the 2 halves, and typically what I've found is these will strip before the front umbrella gears, so all you have to do is just pull this out, your front tail drive gear, just pop it out. These bearings just come off the end, and you take your new one, stick them on there, stick it back, and put the 2 halves together, and you're done. But the main thing that I wanted to show with this video was how to swap out the bearings from one umbrella gear to the next really easily. So you just leave it in a spot in the boom block, put the two halves back together, and you can take, but I've used a main shaft before to do it. You can stick it down in there, or I've heard of people using feathering shafts, but I like to use just a part of a old torque tube. I can stick it in there from the boom end and hold the two halves together and just knock it out. And it comes right out. You can split the two halves again, and the bearings stay in their little spot, but you don't have to take it back apart. And you just take your new one, stick it back from the other way, from the main gear side. So I just push it in with my fingers. I don't have to beat on anything. Just make sure it's pushed in all the way. Open it back up. Take your front tail drive gear again. Stick that in place. Put the two halves back together. And it's as good as new. Okay, now that we've got the boom block back together and the new gears in, all you have to do is just a reversal of the steps to stick it back in. Kind of spread the back of the frame, slide it into place, pops in there, and then it's just a reversal of, you know, putting your screws back in, sticking your boom, torque tube, tighten everything down, and you should be good to go. Hope you enjoyed the video. No, I'm no Finless Bob, but thanks for watching, and good luck.